Hi everyone. Today I'm going to review Zeeko's white and green alloy hydrofoil. This replaces the 2016 blue and white alloy hydrofoil. And there's not only a color change, there's quite a few changes to the construction too. So let's get into it. All right, first let's get into the general dimensions. It weighs the same as last year. This is 4 kilos. The mast is 91 centimeters, top to bottom. Fuselage is 70 centimeters, so there's no big change there. The front wing is fiberglass anhedral. It's got a span of 53.5 centimeters and a 12.5 centimeter chord. That means from front to back. Your rear pitch stabilizer or back wing is flat, and it's got a 32 centimeter span and a 7.5 centimeter chord. The distance between front and back wings is 48 centimeters. The first change now is that the stabilizer fin is now 2.5 centimeters in size. Last year, the blue and white had a 4 centimeter stabilizer fin or yaw stabilizer. As usual, the Zeeko foils are made out of their own proprietary alloy in the factory in Poland. They're anodized and painted, so they're very, very corrosion resistant. Even so, they're still delivered with the Tef gel and so on. And because the wings are fiberglass, you don't have to worry about any reaction between the alloy and the wings. They've made a few changes to the fuselage. Right? You will notice that on this one, there's no more holes at the top. If I grab last year's blue and white, you will notice that, it's hard to see, you'll notice that there are holes on the top. So basically these were drilled all the way through. So here again, green and white, no holes. So in theory, not having the holes will create less drag. All right, the first real big notable change is the new plate. If you have a look at that, okay? The new plate is sort of open-ended. If you compare that to last year's, yeah, just sort of closed. Yeah. The new one, it's also a little bit beefier, thicker, so it's stronger. And having these open-ended ends gives you sort of two options. First of all, it still fits Zeeko's old standards, which has got 8.5 centimeters or 85 millimeters spacing between the screws. And because of this diagonal and a little bit wider hole, this will still fit that, but it will also fit the 90 millimeter standard that everyone else uses. Now, the cool thing about having this open is if you have a board with tracks, you can just essentially leave the screws in there in the same place, loosen them up a bit, and you can just slide the screws in and off. So basically when you're taking the mast off the board or putting it on, it takes a matter of seconds to do so, because you don't have to completely unscrew the screws and take out the plates out of the board. It just basically slots on. Let's talk a bit about the front wing. The front wing is an anhedral. Compared to last year, there's no big change. It's the exact same wing, different color. The difference between this and, for example, the black and white, which is a flat wing, is that this is a little bit more agile, has a little bit more lift. And because of the anhedral basically means a downward curve. So if the thing is flying through the air, yeah, the downward curve of the wing, this gives it a bit more yaw stability. So you've got better control during turns, and you've got a little bit of less pronounced yaw effect. For 2017, Zeeko has also updated their bag a little bit. It's gray now, and the notable changes actually on the inside. They've added another pocket for the back wing. The old bag just had the one big pocket, and your back wing was sort of together with the tools and all the other stuff, which could lead getting it scratched up. But as normal, you've got all the bits. You've got your front wing cover, the cover for the plate, and of course internally you've got the sections for the fuselage and the mast. As always, Zeeko gives you a complete package. You get the bag, and obviously in the bag you get the tool. Basically this has got a bunch of Allen keys and screwdrivers on here, everything you need to put the foil together. You get a tube of Tef gel. The Tef gel is there to be put on the screws about every 2 weeks. This prevents any reaction between the aluminum and the inox or stainless steel screws. You get a rubber mat, which basically helps the plate adapt to boards that have a bit more rocker in the back under their tracks or under the holes. It's a very complete system. It's all ready to go. You don't need to do anything with it. So let's talk about performance on this thing. Essentially, it's the same as the blue and white, so there's no big changes to performance there. The speed would sort of fit in the medium range. It's sort of comfortable from about 8 to 10 knots all the way up to about 25 knots. After that, it's a bit hard to push it past that. The pitch stability is great. I would give that sort of 8 out of 10. It's quite pitch resistant. Thanks to the long fuselage and the 48 centimeter front wing to back wing distance. It's very, very stable on the pitch, which makes it great for practicing flying jives, flying tacks, things like that. Roll resistance, I'll put that sort of in the mid-range. It's a nice, fun, and agile foil. So because of the smaller stabilizer, it rolls a little bit easier, and it's quite nice to carve and turn. It still is, however, resistant enough to still be super stable, to learn maneuvers, so it makes it still a pretty good beginner foil. The yaw resistance is not as good as on the blue and white. It's obvious because they've reduced the stabilizer fin size from 4 centimeters on the blue and white to 2.5 centimeters on the white and green. But this is not necessarily a bad thing. This makes the whole foil nicer and easier to turn. It's a bit more surfy. So for those looking for a little bit more agility, this is a little bit of an upgrade to the blue and white. So in conclusion, the white and green is a great upgrade to last year's blue and white foil. Again, they've beefed up the plate. They've improved the fuselage. There's no more holes, so there's less drag. But otherwise, it's still the super easy, fun foil to progress with. This foil will cover pretty much anybody's wants for free riding, for a bit of freestyle, for all your general sort of free ride foiling, jumping, and so on. I personally didn't notice a huge difference in performance between the blue and white and this. I mean, again, it's the same wings, so yeah, it's a marginal improvement. But in general, the package has gotten even better for 2017. All right, I hope this gave you a better insight into the Zeeko white and green alloy foil. Please, if you like the channel and you like the content, please subscribe, leave a comment. It's greatly appreciated if you like the videos. All right, I'll see you guys on the water.